75 years of independence, we're standing in the Taj. It's got some fantastic history. I've been told that Lord Mountbatten gave the last speech in the capacity of Viceroy in the Taj, in the place where we are standing.
I have also been told the same, so I was not there at that time.
How old are you?
I just turned 58, so
It's iconic when you talk about this building, right?
It is iconic, yes. It is really iconic, and the who's who of
When
the
you were
world.
not with Indian Hotel, what was your impression of this property?
Well, when I was not with Indian Hotels, I always liked the Taj, and very much on a personal note, the decision to join hotel business, I think, happened in the lobby of Taj Mahal, Delhi. We used to go for like a coffee in the night, actually walk down because I didn't live that far away. And that's when I thought, this is something nice, even I can do it. So my attachment to the Taj has always been there.
No regrets coming back to India?
Not as yet.
You're liking the high that you've turned around a big business?
No, it's God has been kind. My professional journey has been good, and in the last almost 5 years have been many times very enjoyable. Those 2 years of COVID, very challenging, but the smile is now bigger on the face.
Of course. Tell me a trivia or something I don't know about Taj or Indian Hotels. The CEOs always know something which we don't know as journalists.
That's a very difficult one, but I can tell you that Taj and the people at Indian Hotels is, as you would say in Shuddh Desi Hindi, Dil Se. So it's the people who have always made the difference. The people who have been with the company, with the brands for such a long time, especially in this very hotel, Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, and history is a testimony when they took bullets to save the guests.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
The word anti-fragile literally means a company or a business which can withstand external volatility, can be resilient, but even more, it can really sustain extraordinary twists and turns. And that's the story of Indian Hotels. For a business which was written off, has made a comeback. For a company where question marks were raised, now markets are celebrating. So what's literally, when you're talking to a hotel company, the word is, what is the secret sauce here? How the company has managed to turn this around, and is this the best we have for the hotel industry? Now to discuss all that and much more, I've got the man who some would say arguably is the architect of the turnaround, Puneet Chhatwal of Indian Hotel. Good to have you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nikunj, thank you.
For a company which reported record loss in COVID, record profit after 2 years, stock at an all-time high five for that. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but I would not call it anti-fragile. I would rather call it resilience. And I think the industry, the entire hotel sector, has demonstrated resilience like possibly nobody else except for tourism and aviation. And that makes us proud. It's not just us, the entire sector has bounced back. And in our case, of course, our strategy, our strategic guidance, our guidance on Avant 2025 has taken a good start. Let's say this is the first quarter with Avant, and we are very pleased with it.
Margins at an all-time high. I've never seen Indian hotels report margins of 30% plus. These were unheard of margins, and we're looking at the consolidated picture, not the India business, which is the good part now. Is this largely because of cost-cutting, debt reduction, or just a business high?
Well, it's a change in the business model. So from a absolutely asset-heavy company, we have been working since the last 5 years on balancing the portfolio. That's our guidance also, that we will have a balanced portfolio of 50% in owned and leased business, and the other 50% of the portfolio to be driven by fee-based business. With that, we have also added new businesses. And even though the Ginger name is a bit old, but the entire brand has been reimagined. The entire portfolio has been re-engineered for its margin. And also that is true for our balance sheet. Our capital structure has also been restructured and re-engineered. And we are very pleased with also the new initiatives like AMA, like Human. They are all based on incremental cost and incremental revenue models. So they drive high margin despite very low contribution today, but it's rising every day. So we're very pleased with the new businesses as they are high margin businesses. Our innovations with our old businesses, like the private membership club Chambers, taking it international, taking it in Dubai, London. Today we took a decision to open Chambers in New York. So we start working on it, we start planning on it at the pier. And we have also taken a decision to open it in Bangalore. So, the Chambers as a private membership club becomes one of a very unique value proposition. And it's been around for 40 years. But we changed the value proposition and we repositioned that too. So I think the sum of all this is beginning to reflect in the EBITDA margins that is coming up on the consolidated level, as you rightly said, because we do have hotels in London and Cape Town and San Francisco and New York, and there it is very difficult to drive such high margins as you're able to do so on the Indian subcontinent.
When we spoke last in this lovely corridor, there was a problem on the COVID front, Omicron. And I distinctly remember you said India is okay, but I may have problems in St. James. I may have problems in my New York hotel. Has all that become history now? A friend of mine stayed at St. James for Wimbledon and he said it's impossible to, forget getting a hotel room, it's impossible to get a restaurant table now there.
Actually, your friend is right, and I can confirm that London has had the best month ever, and that was the last month in July. Also, London has performed for the first quarter higher than the pre-COVID level by 15%. US is still 10 to 15% behind, but I think as of this quarter, things will start changing. At the latest in the month of September, when we have the UN General Assembly, I think the business mix and the business expectations will clearly go ahead of 1920 actual numbers that we have done. San Francisco is a small, lovely property in the best location. So is New York, but San Francisco has never been a challenge. It was profitable before also. And we are very excited because we acquired the remaining 50% stake of Cape Town during COVID. And the season in Cape Town begins as of October. That's their summer. So we are very anxious and excited to look how that will evolve, and that should also add to our top line as well as bottom line.
Margins are a function of realization and also cost. You've cut your cost down. COVID forced you to reimagine cost. I think we had this conversation that look, instead of 5, I'm using 4, instead of 4, I'm using 2, instead of 2, I'm using 1. Where there is 1, there is still 1. I've not cut that 1 out, right? Which means that now that inflation comes back, now that normalization happens, maybe on the employer front, margins will get challenged.
Not really. I think we have been very blessed to have had a very strong pipeline. So we've been able to offer both growth to our people and redeploy. Had we been an organization that would be at a standstill and is only looking at same store, like for like, then obviously the costs keep increasing. And as you rightly say, I call it a bit differently, that margin is your ability to charge minus cost to service. Yes. So if you keep your cost to service at an optimized level, and your ability to charge actually becomes higher with inflation. So I think we are noticing that people are less sensitive to increase in prices because it's just a given, it's expected. Everything has become expensive, so your ability to charge has gone up. But the sector in general, and us in particular, have been able to keep the costs under strict check, especially at the corporate overhead.
So is 30% the new normal, if I may say so?
We will strive, not in every quarter. Quarter 3, we have done it before. We did Q3 1920 was our best ever in terms of margins, and Q4 is the second best quarter. And
second half is better than the first.
Second half is better than the first.
Which means So what you've reported for the quarter gone by, the best for the year is yet to come.
Is yet to come.
So 30%.
Assuming there is no black swan, no COVID, no geopolitical tensions, no wars, or circumstances beyond the reasonable control of the management.
Fair point. So let me rephrase the question. This is the best margin I've seen in Indian hotels. Positive cash flow for the first time?
No, we have had that in Q3 in 1920 before also.
1920.
1920.
1920. That's 100 years ago.
No, 1920, not that way. I meant the year, financial year 1920.
So after, for the first time, cash flows have become positive. Now the second half will be better.
The second half should be better.
That means margins will expand?
We are net positive when it comes to debt.
Okay.
So we are making one payment in the next few days, which is due, and the second is due only in April of next year. So because it's a debenture, we are keeping the extra cash that we have through our equity raise in a separate account for that purpose. So that part makes us feel very comfortable, and the guidance that we have given is not only at the EBITDA level is 33%, but the flow through from EBITDA to PBT and PAT should improve, because what is left is just depreciation or certain financial costs because of the change in the accounting wherever we have leases. So there will be some kind of financial expenses out there, but very limited versus what we are used to on a historical basis.
So the revenge travel, it's a word which we loosely use because suddenly all of us are surprised and shocked with the hotel occupancy. How much of that is sugar rush? How much of that is cyclical, and how much of that is a trend?
I think it's not really a revenge travel. Actually, we in the hospitality sector don't like to call what we do as a hosting people, that all these people we're hosting are coming because of some revenge. We would like to believe they're coming because they like to be here, they like to be seen, they like to enjoy life, especially when people have lost their near and dear ones because of COVID. The attitude for definitely the short term has changed. Let me enjoy today. You know, I don't know what is happening in future or not, but let me also have a good time today. So I think that is one factor which you rightly point out has benefited the industry. The second is a permanent change. What COVID
permanent
did,
change in terms of approach, attitude, and
approach
hospitality.
and attitude, people are driving on a holiday. Not many did that. Very few did that before. But COVID kind of forced people to actually drive themselves and take the family with them, and people had a good experience. So it's now become a part and parcel of people's life. The third is obviously the return of the business demand.
That is the delta for you.
That is the delta for us. So that is working well, and especially in this quarter, it is Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore. Whether it is because of IPL or it's because of the government delegations or the Africa summit that we recently had in Delhi, or as of December, the G20 that is starting. Yeah. All this is going to support the growth of room nights in our industry and the growth of room rates in our industry.
I'm going to take the clock back, and I must say that the stock is at an all-time high. It's so nice to see that at least the directional call which you took in terms of rewarding shareholders, markets are recognizing that. When COVID happened, it was about survival for you. Post that, you started re-innovating, which is you launched the Cumin app, you started working on the cost, and you worked on the capital structure. Those were task on hand. Mission accomplished. What is the next mission now?
Well, the next is continue to do what we have done best. You know, we have invested in the last few years a lot of money on our Taj iconic assets. Some of them had not got the attention that
the one we're standing in right now.
This has been always a continuous investment. This is not just an asset; it's a monument for the world.
Yes.
But I would take examples here of Goa, the Fort Aguada, the Holiday Village, the Fisherman's Cove in Chennai, the Taj Mahal in Lucknow, the Mansingh. The Taj Mahal Hotel Delhi, popularly called the Taj Mansingh, is 75% of the works are complete there. So I think continuous investment in the world's strongest hotel brand, in the most iconic assets that we have, that has helped us drive value in the existing portfolio. Then comes the growth of new brands and
Ginger,
strategic,
Vivanta.
exactly, strategic investment, let's say for building the flagship, the Ginger in Santa Cruz, now only 7 to 9 months away from opening. That gets me very excited. 371 rooms, and it will be an amazing hotel and property. The cuminization of Ginger, this would please you. I don't know if we discussed that.
No, we haven't.
Each Ginger
So
hotel.
cumin is separate and cuminization is separate.
We call it, out of affection or out of fun. We call it cuminization of Ginger because all-day dining, quick service restaurant of Ginger hotels, they will be all converted into cumin.
Okay.
So as the Ginger brand grows, and the guidance we have given is 125 hotels, and let's say of which 90 are in operation in 3 years from now, then you get 90 cumin quick service restaurant, plus some we have taken over in Bangalore, which is already another 10. So suddenly you get to 100 cumin quick service restaurants without any capital employed.
Yes.
And you start creating value in the brand, and that's why we call it the cuminization of Ginger, where both these brands will complement each other and help become stronger than they were as standalone businesses.
So there is no plan to get debt back irrespective of what assets
No,
are there?
we have given the guidance a zero debt, and we want to stick to that.
Even if a great asset is suddenly available at a good price, you will not venture there?
I hope we are able to generate enough free cash flows and get strategic investment partners like the platform we have with GIC, or also with the group companies. There are different group companies which do investments in real estate. I hope we can work with them and become really true to our core business of running hotels and not building and owning hotels. Yes, there are certain investments we have committed to, and that is a part of our work ethics, our culture, our history, our past, like creating Goa as a destination, creating Havelock, Andamans as a destination, creating Kerala as a destination. Now we are working on Kevadia, where the Statue of Unity is. We are working on, we've just got the letter of award for 2 islands in Lakshadweep. So some of those investments we will do, and we will figure out at the right time what will be the platform.
That's from the existing cash flows.
That's either from the existing, or we'll get somebody to partner with us once the assets are done and are finished.
Hotel industry has this challenge. It is always considered to be like a cyclical industry.
Yes.
Business goes, business comes. Business goes, business comes.
Yes.
Have you come out of the shadow of being a cyclical industry? Are you now more like an IT sector, IT industry, or consumer industry?
Yes.
Hotels, consumer companies now.
Yes and no. Sometimes I use German expressions because of my past. So the German yes is a ja, and the German no is a nein. So I call it jein. So yes and no. The yes, why? Because the cyclicality is just a very normal function in any economy, and the first business that gets hurt when things go bad is the discretionary spend on travel, stays in hotels, dining out. And the last one to come back is also...
It's the other way around this time. First one to come back was
after 2 years,
hospitality.
but we did suffer for the first wave, the second wave, the third wave. Having said that, even this industry has embraced digital, and we have also embraced what we call the new businesses, where we have added businesses like Ginger, which is more variable cost driven model. We have added Cumin, where we are sweating our assets better because we've not built new cloud kitchens. All our portfolio
I'm a very happy consumer, Cumin user.
The same thing
Fantastic
on AMA.
service.
We don't create an extra corporate overhead to run AMA. It's being run by the same teams around those hotels where the AMA properties are. We don't take AMA homestay opportunity in the middle of nowhere. So I think some of these businesses will hedge our portfolio much better for any unforeseen event.
That's a great point.
That might come in future, including having free cash flows, cash reserves, and not having debt.
Okay. When you gave the guidance and when you were in the process of changing the capital architecture or the capital structure, the industry was slightly tentative. Nobody thought that revenge travel will come back. No one thought that normalization would be that fast, but it has happened. So can I say that whatever you've guided for, you were likely to achieve it earlier? Because the energy, the system, the business, it is just unreal, right? Nobody imagined this kind of a comeback.
Yeah, this is another translation from European expression. I would say your words in God's ears. I cannot say that, because
So
we
you're not
have
going
to
to
be
come
prudent in all
I've been prudent or conservative?
future, looking statements. So what we have guided is up till now we stand by that. Should we want to revise the guidance, we will need to wait another quarter and a half to see if this trend.
Are you thinking on those lines?
We are always thinking, guidance can be upwards or downwards, but of course, what we did was when we had 17% margin, we guided up 800 basis points to go to 25.
It looked unreal last time. It looked unreal.
And 25, we have guided another 800 basis points to go to 33. So let's stay with our feet on the ground and.
I don't think margins is where I'm contesting. Margins are 30%, fantastic. It's no longer work in progress. What I'm perhaps trying to not contest or counter question is that are you likely to achieve it instead of in 25, 24?
I as I said, I would not like to commit to that statement, but yes, as things stand today, we are on a good wicket. Let's put it this way: we are on a good wicket, and the best is yet to come. And the reason the best is yet to come is because the international travel, which is very important for our portfolio, for our palaces, for our safaris, has not yet picked up.
That's about 20% of your business.
That's 15 to 20%.
That's a clean business.
Yeah, that's
They pay in dollars.
They pay in dollars, and it's good. We get foreign exchange for the country, and then the impact of G20 starting in December till March. It should. I see no reason that why that will not be a big boost for the hotel business.
Last question. What is the challenge in hand now? External factors we don't know.
I think one of the biggest challenge, not just for our industry, but for all the industries, is post-COVID. We see a very big talent crunch. We see a big challenge in staffing. And whether you're talking about airports like Heathrow, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, people are worried if your baggage will make it.
Yes.
This we never heard. Or your flight will be cancelled. And how many, biggest of the airlines in the world have announced, so many flights cancelled. This morning there was an announcement from Australia that Qantas management should go and help out in baggage handling. And then there are so many things that are happening where you wonder what happened. Have the people permanently stopped working, or have they disappeared somewhere? Because there was a life which was as strong as now 2 years ago. So I think the challenge is there, but it's also a great opportunity. Great opportunity because under our ESG Plus initiative, which we call Pathya, we have committed to scale 100,000 people by 2030, and we're also taking assistance from CII on it. So I think it's an opportunity to scale. India has a lot of young people. We have the youngest population. So I think, yes, because of all this, we'll be able to do good service to the community, which was at the core of the founder of our hotel company, the founder of Tata Group. That community is not just another stakeholder, rather the purpose of the existence of any business. So yes, a challenge, but also an opportunity to give good service to the community.
Growth with a purpose. We're celebrating 75 years of independence. We're standing in the Taj. It's got some fantastic history. I've been told that Lord Mountbatten gave the last speech in the capacity of Viceroy in the Taj, in the place where we are standing.
I have also been told the same. So I was not there at that time.
How old are you?
I just turned 58. So
it's iconic when you talk about this building, right?
It is iconic, yes. It is really iconic, and the who's who of the world.
When you were not with Indian Hotel, what was your impression of this property?
Well, when I was not with Indian Hotels, I always liked the Taj, and very much on a personal note, The decision to join hotel business, I think, happened in the lobby of Taj Mahal, Delhi. We used to go for like a coffee in the night. Actually walked on because I didn't live that far away. And that's when I thought, this is something nice, even I can do it. So my attachment to the Taj has always been there.
No regrets coming back to India.
Not as yet.
You're liking the high that you've turned around a big business?
No, it's God has been kind. My professional journey has been good, and in the last almost 5 years have been many times very enjoyable. Those 2 years of COVID very challenging, but the smile is now bigger on the face.
Of course. Tell me a trivia or something I don't know about Taj or Indian hotels. The CEOs always know something which we don't know as journalists.
That's a very difficult one, but I can tell you that Taj and the people at Indian hotels is, as you would say in Shuddh Desi Hindi, Dil Se. So it's the people who have always made the difference. The people who have been with the company, with the brands for such a long time, especially in this very hotel, Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, and history is a testimony when they took bullets to save the guests.
Yes, yes. These are the stairs where I guess it has captured years and years of footsteps, how India has changed, how India has evolved. The founder, Mr. Jamshedji Tata, it is always this iconic feeling when you come back into the Taj Mahal Hotel and talk about the way forward. But we're celebrating 75 years of independence, and nothing can be more iconic from saying goodbye on the show from the Taj Mahal Hotel itself.